channel. So today I'm going to show you how I do my ombre. Today's glitter will be the coral. I actually just received this from Amazon, and then the neon pink. So we're going to do both of those. How I'm going to apply this glitter is I'm going to be using Mod Podge and a brush, of course. I already went ahead and prepped my cup, so if you don't know how to prep your cup, I will share the link down below in the description, and I will also share all my supplies down in the subscription as well. So this is a 30 ounce from Walmart. It is the Built brand. I did not buy the Ozark brand for this. So first things first, we're going to take the Mod Podge and do an even coat all the way around. Okay, so the Mod Podge is all the way around the tumbler. I'm going to move that to the side. So the customer wants the coral on top, so I'm actually going to do the coral, or the pink first, because it's going to be fading like the coral's trying to take over the pink. And just go over the edge. I'm actually going to stand. I'm going to tilt my cup up and just let the pink kind of fall as I turn. So as you can see, I have my pink, and I'm going to do my coral. So same way, you're going to start and just do the top first. Okay, so now that I have all the edges, I'm going to tilt my cup up. So the first coat is just getting it. The second coat, you'll really see the ombre come out, especially since this is two very light colors, so it's kind of not really showing the ombre very well. But during the second coat, it will, and I promise you, and you'll see it, and I'll even do a close-up on it. Alright, so we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and do a second coat. Alright, see you guys soon. Alright guys, welcome back. We're here for the second coat, and this time I'm going to bring the coral down a little bit further and then do the pink. I don't really like how this was turning out, so. Alright, so I'm going to start with the coral first. And I actually poured it in a cup this time because I feel like it would be easier. So let's go. So I'm just going to do the around the rim first. Same way that we did the pink in the beginning. We're going to do one more coat after this to fix that line that I have. So you don't want a line. Alright guys, welcome back. So I went ahead and did my third coat kind of off camera. But as you can see, that the ombre, the peach is kind of fading into the pink, and the pink is kind of fading into the peach, or the coral, not peach. So we are ready for our first coat of epoxy. I went ahead and mixed my epoxy already. So I am going to go ahead and place the epoxy, and then I will let it sit on my turner for about 4 to 6 hours, and then I will turn it off and then let it sit for another 4 to 6 hours, just so that way the epoxy is completely dried and cured, and then we'll go on with the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and put my mask on, and we're going to apply the epoxy. Oh, real quick, I missed a step. So once I finished putting my third coat of glitter on the tumbler, since it is an ombre, I sealed it with the clear gloss. I got this from Walmart. I seal all of my ombre, especially my ombre tumblers, just so that way the glitters don't intermix, so that way the top's not full of just pink, or just so that way it stays secure and it doesn't come off. Alright, so with an ombre, I am going to actually go along with the turner, so that I'm not going to go up and down, just to help kind of minimize the mixing. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to let this spin for another maybe a couple minutes, and then I'm going to take my heat gun just to get any air bubbles out. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get my heat gun, and I'm just going to go back and forth. So we're going to let this spin for about 4 to 6 hours, and then we'll come back, in about 8 hours, and then we'll see the next step. So, which would be sanding. If I'm not doing a water decal, I go ahead and place my decal on the tumbler after I sand it, and then I wash it and make sure all the dust from the sand is off. And then I apply the epoxy. I'll apply probably another 2 coats of epoxy before it's actually finished. Right, so we'll be back. We're back for the next step. So now that I have epoxy, and I did 2 coats of epoxy on this tumbler. I did the second coat off camera, just because I honestly forgot to start recording again. So I did 2 coats of epoxy already on this, and the first coat was mainly just to get the glitter pretty much sealed, and then the second coat I did was to try to keep it smooth. So these are these sanding blocks I use. You can buy these at Walmart. You can buy them in individually packed, packs of 2 or packs of 4. I like packs of 4 just because I go through them a lot. I am using the fine one where it's not that gritty to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that everything is nice and smooth. If I find rough spots, like right here I found a rough spot, it means that either the glitter didn't lay down flat or I just did not get all the air bubbles. As in this one, it looks like the glitter just didn't lay flat. So I'm going to sand this down. I'm going to sand my edges so that way they're nice and smooth, and I'm going to sand my bottom so it's nice and smooth. And I'm just going to go around feeling where I need to sand just to make it nice and smooth, and then we'll place the decal on there. Now, I normally, once I sand, I don't place the decal if I'm doing a water slide. If I'm doing a water slide, I will do another nice thin coat of epoxy, just so that way, because if you do a water slide, especially a clear water slide, and you sand, if you can tell with this rough patch right here, it's not shiny. It's kind of rough and looks scratched up. So you want to put a nice thin layer of epoxy just to get that shine back. And then that way, whenever you put your water slide on there, you can't see these rough marks through the water slide. Okay, so it's nice and smooth. Got all my bumps, I got my bottom and my edge done. So now I'm actually going to, so that way none of the dust and everything gets whenever I go to do the final coat of epoxy. I am going to just wipe it down with my alcohol. I like wiping it down after I sand it with alcohol, so that way whenever I do go to apply the epoxy, none of the dust or anything from the sanding it goes into and stays with the cup. I kind of want it to just look nice and fresh. And obviously when you do wipe it down with alcohol, you're going to see that it goes back to shininess. But once you're done wiping it down and it does dry, it'll go back to that little scruffy look, or like it looks like it's all scratched up, and it's because you sanded it. Now what I'm going to do is, I am not using a water slide on this tumbler. I am actually using regular vinyl. So down here, so I actually am doing two sides. I'm doing one side will have this. It's kind of hard because it's a holographic vinyl, and then the second side will have this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the decal on the cup. When you're having trouble with the decal, try flipping it upside down to see if maybe that helps. So I'm just going to pick a spot on my cup and I'm just going to place it on there. So as you can see, it's on the tumbler. And there you have it. Classy, bougie, ratchet. Looks really, really cute. So now she wants on one side and then she wants a second side. So now I'm going to do the second side. And then here is this, so you have this side, and then you have this side. So this is the wording on it. Leave a little sparkle wherever you go. And then you turn it, and it's got this side. So now we're gonna do the epoxy. Okay, so I went ahead and mixed my epoxy. I have my tray underneath, and I have my cup on it, the spinner. So I'm just going to pour. So since the glitter is sealed and I'm not worried about it intermixing, I am just going to go ahead and pour how I please. Okay, so I'm going to let this spin for just about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and hit it with my heat gun, just so that way no air bubbles are coming out. Okay? Okay, so I just took my heat gun. I should have explained before I did it. And I just kind of made sure all the air bubbles, I wanted to make sure around the decals how sometimes air bubbles would linger that way. So I did focus a little bit on the decals, and then I just did a quick little here and there, back and forth on making sure there's no air bubbles. So now I'm going to leave this to sit to dry, or on the turner, for about 4 to 6 hours. Then I will turn the turner off, and I will leave it for another 4 to 6 hours. just to make sure it's nice and dry and ready to go. And then I will show you guys the finishing touch. Alright guys, so we're back and the tumbler is completely done. So I love the way that this turned out. I love the vinyl I used, the colors. They're just very, very like light, but not so light where it just doesn't sparkle. So hence why it says leave a little sparkle. Very happy with the way this turned out. I am now going to clean up my edges. I use my little blade here. I got it with my Cricut. So I just kind of trim around the edges. Alright, so now that I have that done, my edges are nice and smooth. There's no epoxy. There's some glitter in there, but I'm going to wash it. So that is basically it. I'm going to go wash this and then go ahead and package it up for my customer. My edges are smooth, the bottom's smooth. I really love how this turned out, and I just love the colors. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of me do tumbler tutorials and little projects here and there on how to do it yourself, just hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. And all my materials that I use, I will also put down in the description down below. I'll also put down in the description, I did a video of how to mix your epoxy, so in the middle of doing this video. So I will put that link down in the bottom, and also how to prep your tumbler. So I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and stay tuned for the next tumbler. Bye.